The Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, has imposed a lockdown on Shanghai for more than a month since April 1st to prevent and control the COVID-19 outbreak. This entire city, with a population of 26 million people, has been turned into a cold and cruel prison. During the lockdown, large crowds were sent to the mobile quarantine site, leaving the remaining residents in their homes. Staff in full protective gear are often seen disinfecting the streets, and residents are often subjected to nucleic acid testing. Look at how miserable people in Shanghai are, still doing nucleic acid testing in the open in such heavy rain. Brothers, people are treated worse than dogs, really worse than dogs. Take a look at this rain. I'll show you. This is awful. Shanghai keeps extending the blockade, adding to public frustration. Some people compare the CCP's anti-epidemic methods to concentration camps and zoos.
We were told the lockdown would be lifted on May 1st. Now it's blocked again. Is it going to be blocked until 2023? None of the government's words count. This is how the government lies to people. Will it be blocked like this forever? Just have everyone locked in the home? Do you see this? It's all locked up. What's going on outside? We don't know. If they blow us up with bombs, we won't know either. It looks like now they're ready to kill people.
More and more neighborhoods are being fitted with barbed wire.
What if something happens and we can't escape?
There is a door.
By the time you close the door, lock the door, what do we do? If you don't close the door, why do you need to install barbed wire? Why do you need to install those things? If you don't lock the doors, then remove these things. Don't install these things. Bully us seniors, women, children, and the vulnerable, right? All the people left in our building are seniors, women, and children. What should we do?
You don't have to talk to me about this. You should call 12345.
Can anyone get through to the hotline 12345 now? I want to call it too, right?
The Pudong district, which has been under lockdown for more than 48 days, has barbed wire installed over much of the district. The government has been working very hard on installing the barbed wire fence, even working overtime at night.
What is the reason for this government to take this measure? I don't understand.
As to whether these wire fences may be connected to electricity, people are worried. Because in a country like China, where there is a rule of man rather than a rule of law, the decision to electrify the fences rests with the leaders of each town or street. If the leaders say they want to electrify the fences, the people below them will do so. Some residents stood up to the fence and broke it down. Some residents have also removed the wire fence that holds the hard partitions. The most formidable one is this 95-year-old grandma who is said to have been diagnosed as positive, and the staff tried to take her away to isolate her but failed. The staff surrounded her home with tin. The granny then started her journey of resistance. Granny is preparing to break out of prison. She is trying everything to see if she can get out. Can you see? She's ready to break out of jail. Granny succeeded. She enjoyed the fresh air in the street and walked around freely. When staff in white hazmat suits came to intercept her, the granny started to fight with a steady pace and agile moves. Unfortunately, the granny lost her fight and was finally taken away by a tricycle. The most serious problem brought about by the Great Lockdown of Shanghai is the lack of food. Stories of residents being starved to death spread through various channels. Residents in many neighborhoods are unable to acquire food and other supplies in a timely manner. Some residents are using special ways to get the officials' attention to get help. This woman is burning paper money, which Chinese people burn for the dead.
I'm burning money for you. I've been cooped up in the neighborhood for a month without food. Hey, I called. I called the hotline, but no one paid attention to me. The government also ignored me. What supplies did our community send? There aren't any food or oil. My mom and dad, do you know how much I suffer here? So far, there's no rice and no oil. Putuo District, Zhenrong Street Community Office is shameless.
It is said that this method worked, and that afternoon, this neighborhood distributed food and other supplies. Now the banging of pots you hear is not the sound of residents celebrating anything, but it's the sound of Shanghai citizens protesting out of hunger. They initially banged pans and pots under the cover of the night. Later, more and more households call out to the government during the day with the sound of banging pots and pans, asking them to send food and supplies because they have nothing to eat. However, some of the leaders who visited the area were playing deaf. They were calm as if they heard nothing. Amidst the hardship of the tightly controlled lockdowns, some citizens tried to escape. Here's a Shanghai resident who was arrested by epidemic prevention officers after his escape plan failed. I am the lapdog of the foreigners. I am the lapdog of the Americans. You shoot me? Shoot me now. Let me die. Let me die. The video shows a university where the students, who presumably can't stand the lockdown anymore, have come up with innovative ways to escape. I'm a Western spy, get me out of school. I'm paid by American imperialism, I'm paid by America, get me out of school. You can get a reward of $500,000. I am a spy of American imperialism. No one knows how many people are infected and how many people have died from the epidemic in Shanghai. It is difficult to trust the government figures. For example, from April 17th to April 26th, Shanghai claims to have 535,600 positive cases and 238 deaths, mostly among the elderly, who authorities said died due to underlying diseases.
4月26日新增本土死亡病例48例。
On April 26th, 48 new COVID-19 related deaths were added to the tally, of which the average age was 80.85. All the 48 patients had severe multi-organ chronic diseases, including cerebral hemorrhage, cerebral infarction sequelae, coronary heart disease, myocardial infarction, severe cardiac insufficiency, severe hypertension, Alzheimer's disease, uremia, gastrointestinal bleeding, advanced pancreatic malignancy. Only one of the above cases had been vaccinated. Their underlying conditions directly caused their fatality. We can make a comparison. After the outbreak in Hong Kong earlier this year, the local death rate from infection was pushed to one of the highest in the world. According to data released by the Hong Kong government on April 23rd, this wave of COVID resulted in a total of 1,188,800 infections and 9,023 deaths, with a mortality rate of 0.76%. After the outbreak in Shanghai, which has more than 3 times the population of Hong Kong, the cumulative number of infected people in Shanghai exceeded 400,000 by April 21st, but there were only 36 local deaths. According to this calculation, the mortality rate in Shanghai is about 0.009%, which is only 1.18% of that in Hong Kong. So the question is, if the death rate is so low, why did the CCP impose such a severe lockdown? At least 2 staff members at a local funeral home in Shanghai told Radio Free Asia that their workload was higher than before, but wouldn't provide specifics. The strict controls have caused some residents to starve to death, die of illness due to lack of access to medical care, and suicide. Residents in Shanghai told overseas Chinese media that during the city's lockdown, there were daily rumors of families jumping off buildings, people starving to death, and non-locals who couldn't survive in Shanghai. Secondary disasters caused by the COVID-0 policy are far greater than the epidemic itself. The CCP's practice is to continue to eliminate and muzzle so-called negative voices, but this time in Shanghai, it has triggered an unexpected backlash. On April 22nd, a short story titled The Voice of April was uploaded to the Chinese web, but was quickly taken down, and the original author's public and video accounts were deleted. The Voice of April is a collection of audio and video widely circulated on Chinese social media, showing the plight of people in Shanghai after the lockdowns imposed on the city. After The Voice of April was taken down, it sparked outrage among netizens, with some posting the song Do You Hear the People Sing from the musical Les Miserables on WeChat in protest. The video also led to a phenomenal spread and sharing. WeChat and Weibo users insisted on posting it again and again after it was deleted, and some changed the video name, adding some official content before reposting it. A Twitter user said he had never seen such a scene before. A video was widely reposted in the circle of friends and had reached 100,000 reposts in half a day. The original post was quickly deleted, but in exchange for the collective protest of the people of Shanghai. If you are the one with your mouth muzzled, just ask if you are afraid. I'm in Shanghai. This day deserves to be remembered. The French newspaper Le Monde analyzed in its article censorship reinforces the anger of the Shanghai people, saying, not to mention The Voice of April. The CCP banned its own national anthem a week ago, the March of the Volunteers, because the anthem has the following phrase: "Rise up, people who do not want to be slaves. The Chinese nation is in the most dangerous time, and everyone is forced to make the last roar." The roar was not only from the Chinese, but also from foreigners in Shanghai. Many netizens revealed on Twitter that foreigners are privileged in China. For example, many of the tenants in this mid to high-end residential area are foreigners. The place was supposed to be separated by boards, but because foreigners took the lead in not cooperating, the authorities were forced to evacuate to lift the board segregation. On the evening of April 26, this video went viral on social media platforms. The 2-minute video shows a foreigner apparently in despair shouting, "I'm going to die," in rusty Chinese to the epidemic prevention workers, repeatedly saying, "I'm going to die" in English, Chinese, and French. The French consulate in Shanghai confirmed to the French broadcaster that the man is indeed French and is now being cared for by nursing staff and is in stable condition. Chinese netizens commented that foreigners with privileges are being driven crazy. What about the Chinese? Shanghai has 1/4 of China's foreign population. The CCP has spent decades building Shanghai in hopes of attracting foreign investment and top foreign talent. According to census data released in 2021, there are about 164,000 foreigners working in Shanghai, scattered across multiple industries covering technology, finance, and education, among others. This is Shanghai is a local platform owned by Fox Media Hong Kong. It conducted a survey of foreigners living in Shanghai in mid-April. Of the 950 respondents, 48% said they would leave Shanghai within a year, if not immediately. Another 37% said they would stay until the epidemic was over, depending on whether the situation in Shanghai improved. Together, these two categories accounted for 85% of respondents.
In normal times, the security guard and the neighborhood committee, they decide where to throw away your garbage or where to park your car. Very simple things. But now suddenly they're deciding about who can go to hospital or what happens with a dog if the owner tests positive. They're not really prepared or educated for this. And that has caused a lot of problems. Regardless of whether zero COVID or letting it go, which strategy is applied, I think some procedures have been too strict, such as separating kids from parents. That has changed now, but also removing people from their own homes. That's a very extreme measure. And I think there were some people also in China speaking out against this, some very prominent people, but they've all been censored. I'm sure a lot of expats will leave. There are WeChat groups going around and with tips how to get a plane ticket, how to order a taxi to the airport. So there's a lot of expats gonna leave.
Yes, more and more people are trying to escape from Shanghai, or rather, from Red China. The Voice of America reports that some of Shanghai's elites are changing their minds about the Chinese Communist government. They are the closest thing Shanghai has to the West. The newspaper describes them as being highly educated, most of them having lived in the West briefly and earning much more than the average Chinese. They are different, with careers such as university professors, corporate elites, high-tech startups, and idle, wealthy housewives. And this time, the Great Shanghai citywide lockdown has confused and shocked this crowd. Some of them begin to believe rumors they didn't believe before. A researcher named Shi Jiao said his highest record was a week without meat, and after being told to resume work, he was asked to sleep on the concrete floor. He lamented, "How did the most advanced and open Shanghai get into this state?" Hu Ye, the founder of a technology company, said he was shocked by the high-handedness and authoritarianism of the Shanghai government. When he returned to China from the US, he thought, "I'm just going to do business. I'm not going to touch politics, so there shouldn't be anything." He said he could feel from talking to his friends that the impact of Shanghai's lockdown was huge and that a group of friends who had returned to China from overseas were thinking of leaving. Some have left, some are buying tickets, and some may wait until the epidemic is over. He himself plans to gradually reduce his business in China and move abroad in the next year or two. Since April, searches for the phrase investment immigration have skyrocketed in mainland China. Both Google and China's Baidu search trends show a spike in the number of Chinese and Shanghai residents searching for immigration. The Financial Times reports that according to more than a dozen immigration consulting firms, there has been a surge in calls asking about immigration since April. A broker at QWOS, a Shanghai-based immigration services firm, said, "I have received too many inquiries in the past few weeks to respond in a timely manner, and received more than 200 inquiries on April 16th alone." Mr. Ji, a Shanghai resident, told overseas Chinese media that there is now a lot of buzz about how to go abroad on various WeChat groups, friend circles, Weibo, and other social media platforms in Shanghai. He said, "People who have even the slightest financial means want to leave, even if they have property or a villa in Shanghai, because the city has neither freedom nor dignity. Everyone is treated like an animal, so they want to get out."